up in the news, a Catholic Bishops' Conference commend President Mahama for true statesmanship. Remembrance Day for police officers who died in the course of duty. Also in this bulletin, meteorologists warn of severe harmattan in days ahead. Hello, good evening. This is News Hour Live on your all news channel GBC24 and GTV. My name is Micheline Taka.
And my name is Akpene Avo Ajaja. In the details, latest report from the transition team of the incoming administration shows that the various committees from both sides of the political divide have presented a report to the office of the President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo.
It is expected the two parties will, by the close of 3rd February 2017, provide a final report to the incoming administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. This was made known by the spokesperson of the transition team of the NPP, Mr. Kojo Opon Nkrumah.
The Presidential Transition Act, Act 854. The Act requires the establishment of 3 subcommittees: the Inauguration Subcommittee, the Government Machinery Subcommittee, and the Presidency Subcommittee. And the Act makes provision in Section 4, subsection D, for the formation of other committees which the team considers relevant in the performance of its functions. Now, the President-elect nominated 9 members for the committee or the transition team. The incumbent president also nominated 9 members. So together we have an 18-member transition team. Under this 18-member transition team, and to facilitate the work of the incoming administration, we have set up 10 working teams which are doing the work of breaking down the materials being received and helping us make sense of it. For example, there's a Presidency and Administration Working Team. There's the Economy and Bank of Ghana. There's Energy and Natural Resources. There's Legal and Governance. There's Infrastructure. There's Local Government. There's Interior and Public Safety. Then there are the social sectors. There's one on executive assets. And then there is a working team on nominations, nominating persons who would serve in the new administration. Under each of these subsectors, you have various ministries, departments, and agencies. So, for example, if you take the economy, you have the Ministry of Finance, Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, Ministries of Agric, Tourism, Trade, the Ghana Revenue Authority, and other agencies. So what the transition team has done is to group it into working teams under which each ministry falls. The meeting we just observed is a meeting of the heads of the various working teams with the co-chair or the president-elect representative, the Honorable Yaosafo Mafo. And that meeting is to provide a reporting template with which the various working teams will provide an interim report for the benefit of the president-elect before Inauguration Day. We have currently provided a number of informal briefs to the office of the president-elect. He has requested for a formal interim report before his inauguration, so that by the time he's inaugurated, by the time he speaks to the country, at least he has an interim report of what, may I say, he's inheriting as the new president of the Republic of Ghana. That's the meeting that we just observed going on. Over the Christmas period, many of these subcommittees or working committees have also been in this building meeting. And since you came around, I'm sure you've noticed, or those of you who came around during the Christmas period, you've noticed that some of these working committees have been meeting. The working committees and then the 9 members from the side of the president-elect have also declined certain allowance, lunch and other beverages as a sign of commitment to the kind of austere times in which we are. And same has been communicated to the co-chair and the team on the other side. The final thing I'd like to talk about is that the Inauguration Subcommittee is also working on preparing for the inauguration on the 7th of January 2017. And the general information we'd like to give on that is that currently the invitations have gone out to the various heads of state and heads of government and international agencies that will be joining us for that day. The Information Services Department is also requesting our friends in the media to bring applications for accreditation for the said day. The inauguration of the 7th Parliament of the Fourth Republic will take place between 10 p.m. and midnight, the night of the 6th to the morning of the 7th of January at Parliament House. You would also recall that as per the Constitution, the inauguration of the President-elect has to be before Parliament. And so Parliament will subsequently adjourn after swearing in its new Speaker and inaugurating the members, and then will reconvene at the Independence Square on the morning of the 7th for the swearing in of the President-elect. I do know that about 6,000 guests are being expected for the swearing in of the President-elect. This includes members of Parliament and all the other state organizations that are required for an organization.
President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo has affirmed his commitment to have metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives elected by 2018. At a Durbar of chiefs in the Western region as part of his Thank You tour, Nana Akufo-Addo also said the creation of an additional region for the Western region will also take place in the same year. Earlier, we spoke to governance expert and political economist Dr. Odrosang of the Institute of Local Government Studies, and he explained the requirements needed to fulfill the process.
We have practiced this decentralization system for over 20 years. And I can tell you that if we are able to elect chief executives, it will improve transparency, it will improve accountability, and then it will make the chief executives accountable to the people. It would also it will also reduce the conflict between chief executives and then the MPs, because now the chief executives will have security of tenure of office. Again, it would also ensure that the chief executives will be more accountable to the people. And then chief executives can also demand their fair share of the common fund from the government. And until recently, you realize that if the common fund is delaying, it is difficult for chief executives to talk about it. It is difficult for them to even take the central government on. But if you are able to elect chief executives, I'm sure that if the common fund is coming, which goes to affect their tenure, they will definitely speak about it and the money will come. And above all, it also reduces the friction between regional ministers and chief executives, because previously you realize that both the regional ministers and chief executives were appointed by the same person, the president. So now if one is elected and one is appointed, it will really help in governance. And again, it will throw power back to the people so that it will improve local democracy and popular participation in governance.
A Somba police event that commenced on 24th November 2014 is now firmly on the national calendar. President John Mahama was among the dignitaries who attended the Police Memorial Day at the Tesano Police Depot in Accra. The event was in memory of police officers who died in the course of duty. Napoleon Atukito reports.
Police Memorial Day was conceptualized in the time of IGP Paul Quay. The idea was implemented by his successor, Mohammed Alassan. The cenotaph at the police training school at Tesano, to serve as focal point of the event, was built in the tenure of the current IGP, John Kudalo. 8 policemen will have their names engraved in the Wall of Honor. Another 7 would have their names on the Roll of Honor. They are to be immortalized and eulogized. This is where President John Mahama, ministers of state and senior security officers gathered in remembrance of police officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Superintendent Salifu Dagati, who used his body to shield Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, from a hail of bullets in an assassination attempt on January 2nd, 1964, was also remembered. Police officer Salifu Dagati sacrificed his life for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
8 officers of the service have lost their lives through various adversarial actions in the course of performing law enforcement duties since the inception of Police Memorial Day in 2014. Today, we have the service numbers, the ranks, names, and dates of death of these heroes inscribed in gold on marble stone. We've also dedicated one marble stone to many of our colleagues who have died in similar circumstances before the year 2014.
A politician's career path is a very tortuous, turbulent, muddy, difficult, and most of all uncertain path. We have chosen it, and we have to live it to the best of our ability. The nature of our job puts us in harm's way, where a police officer's survival on duty tour is uncertain. As to whether he survives as officer, to see the next day, in the course of performing his duty, is in the hands of Providence.
They risked their lives for our safety and paid the ultimate price. We owe it as a duty, we the living, to remember and pay homage to their memories. Ladies and gentlemen, government recognizing the difficulties and dangers that confront police personnel in the discharge of their duties has over the last 4 years ensured a systematic resourcing of the service. Protective gear, vehicles, increased recruitment numbers, enhanced remuneration, capacity building, and minimizing of risk to our police officers has been the focus of our plans in establishing a world-class police service.
The memorial service was attended by several retired senior police officers. Napoleon Atukitu for GTV.
Catholic priests have commended President John Mahama for his statesmanship and peaceful nature, which has contributed to the peace and stability in the country, especially at this critical period of political transition. The acknowledgement was occasioned by a visit to the presidency by members of the Catholic Bishops' Conference on Wednesday. Another report by Napoleon Atokitu.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Ghana filed to the seat of government to meet with President John Mahama, who will soon hand his mantle to President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo. The Catholic priests were there to acknowledge and commend the outgoing president for his demeanor in the whole gamut of political processes engendering change of government. When results of the December 7th elections were advanced, pointing at a likely winner, President John Mahama accepted the outcome. He then did what appeared to be the unthinkable in some political quarters. He touched a vital chord that has been the missing link in disputed elections across the African continent. It was the simple but profound telephone call he placed on the president-elect Nana Akufo-Addo to concede defeat and congratulate the winner. That, the Catholic Bishops' Conference says, was moving, exemplary, commendable, and provided the cooling effect on the political temperature.
We want to further state that Ghana will always remember with admiration your great contribution in the tremendous infrastructural development that you have contributed during your term of office. Your friendly disposition towards all and your calmness even in taking criticisms which were not justified, have given us great courage and also admiration. We are here also at the end of our encounter to pray for you and to pray for all those who assisted you, and some of whom are here in your entourage. So that God will continue to bless you in the life that you will live after this.
President John Mahama thanked the Catholic Bishops' Conference for their gesture. He asked them to extend the same hand of friendship to his successor. He said if the new president succeeds, Ghana succeeds.
As committed Christian, I listen to the voice of God. And we say that the voice of God is the voice of the people. God speaks to us through people. And so I have accepted and respect the verdict of the Ghanaian people. And I'm at peace with myself. And I believe that Ghana, our nation, is bigger than any personality. Leaders will come and go, but our nation will continue to survive. I therefore ask all of us to give our utmost support to the new government in order that it succeeds, because in its success, it will bring prosperity to all of Ghanaians, notwithstanding our ethnic or political affiliations.
President John Mahama and President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo are familiar combatants to the presidential throne. In 2012, the disputed election between them ended in court, going to court of law to allow the rule of law to decide the winner of the election and not through the barrel of the gun was highly commended by many. Now, it is the case of a clear winner followed by a concession and a smooth transition. Napoleon Atukitu reporting.
The IGP John Kudalo says the police is maintaining law and order with increased security presence across the country. He said the service has deployed over 70% of its personnel countrywide for the holiday period. The IGP says the holidays has relatively been calm as the service has not recorded any grave incident yet.
During Christmas and other holidays, miscreants take advantage of unsuspecting persons and rob them of their valuables. Since criminal activities are usually high at such times, the Ghana Police Service often reinforces security across the country. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. John Kudalo, highlighted the success of Operation Father Christmas initiated by the police service.
No, I've not had any special untoward complaints yet. Nothing has come onto my desk. But to us, it's not over until it's over. We still have the new year to contend with. So expect in 2017 a very formidable police force, well-resourced, dedicated, transparent, and ready to do everything to ensure that the society gets the service delivery for which the taxpayer is paying us for, and also to ensure that Ghana will continue to enjoy this freedom in a number environment as we are doing now, for everybody to go about his lawful duty, underline lawful duty without any molestation or harassment.
The IGP also said the welfare of personnel is paramount to the service, especially so because of the risk involved in the discharge of their duties. Modalities are being worked on to enhance the welfare of fallen heroes.
We discussed the package. We saw that what is being given them is peanuts as compared to the sacrifices that have been made. I've got the modalities, everything. I'm going to put it before my management board at our next meeting. So I'll get a complete package. It's a composite package for this type of sacrifice. So we'll be able to put your name on, carving your name in gold, but also make sure that your family enjoys the good things that they will have enjoyed if you have been alive.
He called on the general public to cooperate with his men and report suspicious characters to the police. Soyoko Kwakutre, GBC24, Accra.
The southeasterly trade winds or the harmattan is expected to be more severe in the days ahead. The Ghana Meteorological Agency is cautioning that all must take the necessary measures against the severe weather, which is already causing poor visibility.
The harmattan severely limits visibility and blocks the sun for several days, comparable to a heavy fog. It is usually evident by the end of November and signals the beginning of the Christmas season. Unfortunately, this year, even though some parts of northern Ghana experience the haze at the expected time, most cities, especially the capital Accra, did not experience it until a few days ago. The acting deputy officer at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Mr. James Dosu, explains the late arrival of the trade winds.
Its effect began over the northern parts, but what happens is that we have a convergence of winds. And if this convergence of winds don't come lower south, we will not have the effects of the northeasterly winds, which normally come with these dust particles influencing areas over southern Ghana. No two consecutive seasons are the same. Yeah, so sometimes you have early onsets of some conditions, and sometimes you have late onsets of some conditions. So that is what we are experiencing for now.
Mr. Dosu added that the season may continue till April and its effects could be severe.
It will depend on what the weather the weather features depict going forward into the following year. If they still persist over the region, the source region of these dusty winds, it would still have its effect. So we normally look at these charts weekly to know how the week is going to fare. So for this week, we expect intensification of the current situation going into the week ending by Sunday. But that is not to say that after Sunday it's going to relax. When we realize that on Monday, from the charts that we normally use to determine these situations, if the effect is going to continue, we'll still say it's going to persist.
For the public, he advised those with respiratory problems to wear nose masks since the dust particles could worsen their breathing difficulties. He also asked drivers to be cautious on the roads.
For those plying the roads, we expect that the exercise caution, particularly those over the forested areas or high grounds. Normally, during the early mornings, we have misty conditions which reduce visibilities, though the haziness also reduces visibilities. But in the early mornings, we have moisture within the atmosphere, which causes a further reduction in visibility. So drivers may not be able to see at distances, particularly in cars or oncoming vehicles, to make maneuvers to avoid accidents. So they should exercise caution while driving.
At this time, the wind blows from south to north, forcing aircraft to fly against the wind. Mr. Dosu advised air travelers to check the weather for their destinations to ensure that they wear the appropriate clothing for their journeys.
Before we go to the business front, we bring you some of the compelling pictures of this year.
Hello again, my name is Maurice Ogbete. We talk business. Now, the Ghanaian economy grew 4% in the third quarter of the year. Acting government statistician Mr. Banwadia said the growth was largely driven by services sector, which recorded 4.7%, followed by the agricultural sector 3.9% and industry 2.3%, the least among the three.
The gross domestic product (GDP) is the total value of final goods and services produced in the country during a given period. 2016 started with a GDP growth of 4.2% after ending 2015 at the same rate. This growth rate was driven by industry, which grew by 4.6%, followed by the services sector, which also grew by 3.7%, with agriculture growing at 2.0%. It, however, dropped significantly from 4.2% to 2.3% in the second quarter of 2016. The Ghana Statistical Service attributed the drop to the breakdown in the torrent bearing the FPSO Kwame Nkrumah, which affected the country's revenue inflows. This, coupled with a negative 6.5% for industry, 3.6% for agriculture, and 5.7% for the services sector growth rate, contributed to the drop in growth. Growth, however, has rebounded, with a total GDP growth rate in the third quarter of 2016 growing from 2.3% to 4%. The acting government statistician, Mr. Bawadie, said this reflected in the nominal growth of the economy.
The provisional 2016 quarter 3 GDP estimate, including oil at current prices at purchaser's value, is estimated at 44,608.1 million. The estimate for 2015 quarter 3 was 37,300 151.3 million. The provisional 2016 Q3 GDP estimate, excluding oil, at current prices at purchases value, is 43,786.8 million.
Mr. Wadie indicated the agriculture and industrial sectors need more attention because growth in these sectors are not encouraging.
The year-on-year quarterly GDP growth rate for agriculture is 2.3% for the third quarter of 2016. The livestock subsector recorded the highest year-on-year growth rate of 5.6%, while the fishing subsector recorded the lowest growth rate of 0.3%. The year-on-year quarterly growth rate for the industry sector is 3.9% for the third quarter of 2016.
Annual GDP growth rate in Ghana averaged 6.99% from 2000 until 2016, reaching an all-time high of 11% in 2011 to 2012.
Meanwhile, producer price inflation now stands at 11.9%. This represents a 2.2% increase over the October figure. Acting government statistician Mr. Bawadie indicated that the change follows an increase in inflation in the utilities, mining and quarrying sectors.
The utilities subsector recorded the highest year-on-year producer price inflation rate of 38.3%, followed by the mining and quarrying subsector with a rate of 19.4%. The manufacturing subsector recorded the lowest year-on-year inflation rate of 4.9%. With respect to the monthly changes, the manufacturing subsector recorded the highest rate of 2.1%, followed by utility subsector with 0.1%. The mining and quarrying subsector recorded the lowest rate of negative 1.6%.
Still business live on GBC24. At this point, to go over to the interbank market and get latest figures on how the local currency is performing. We also bring you latest prices of major commodities on the international market. And thou do for business.
Welcome back to the news. In the health segment, health experts are warning that middle-aged people in the country face a health crisis because of unhealthy lifestyles. Desk jobs, fast food, and the daily grind are reported to be taking their toll. It is believed that by taking action in midlife, one can reduce the risk not only of type 2 diabetes, which is preventable, but also reduce the risk of dementia and disability and being a burden to their family. Now, a 34-year-old Doris Agbasi has been diagnosed with an end-stage kidney failure. She needs 20,208 Ghana cedis to undergo dialysis.
Health organizations, including the WHO, recommend breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months, after which supplementary foods can be introduced. Breastfeeding until at least age 2 is recommended. Unfortunately, for Doris Agbashi, she stopped breastfeeding her baby girl just 2 months after birth because she had been diagnosed with an end-stage kidney failure. Doris is currently on admission at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. She is unable to eat, walk or talk properly. Doctors say she needs to undergo a kidney transplant, but her current situation demands dialysis.
Maybe
Doris needs 20,208 Ghana cedis to undergo dialysis. Doris is therefore appealing to all to assist her undergo dialysis and subsequently a transplant. All donations should be sent to Gifty Agbashi's mobile money account number 0540-634-783 or Jacob Agbashi 0240-575-456. No amount is too little.
And that's it for the health segment. We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Business, the Bank of Ghana has set up a 24-hour call center to handle complaints and inquiries from across the country. The move is one of the steps taken by the central bank to respond swiftly to any development in the financial sector that can undermine the integrity of the system. Apart from the English language, 5 other local languages, including Hausa, can be used to access the services of the call center.
The 2016 financial year can be described as better than that of the previous year. This is because most of the financial indicators, including inflation, which in November 2015 stood at 17.6%, is now at 15.5%. The cedi, which witnessed one of its severest beatings in decades and almost hit 5 cedis to a dollar, is now hovering around 4 cedis to a dollar. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nasheed Ishaku, in an interaction with the media in Accra, said inflationary expectations could not be met, but the economy is stable.
Our efforts at sustaining macroeconomic stability continues to yield dividends, thanks to continued fiscal restraint and the tight monetary policy stance. We have been largely able to anchor inflation expectations while the economy is becoming more resilient to external shocks.
The governor also said the establishment of the communication department at the bank will help in deepening financial education and literacy.
As a department within the bank, the goal is to proactively support the mandate of the bank in ensuring price stability, ultimately contributing to economic growth.
One of the issues that dominated the political discourse during the elections was the DKM saga. To this end, the central bank has set up a call center to help individuals to ascertain the authenticity of any financial entity open in any part of the country. The head of the communications department, Bernard Atu Otabil, was happy that the 24-hour call center, which had just started operating, will help in bridging the gap between the central bank and the public in terms of communication.
we are estimating, or based on the number of calls that we've had today, we've realized that at least about 90% of the calls are dealt with immediately. You know, I mean, if you're looking for interest rate, if you want to find out what a treasury bill rate is, if you want to find out whether a microfinance institution is registered or is licensed or is in good standing to undertake the kind of activity that they are engaged in, you can easily get that in real time, as you put it.
Though the central bank was tight-lipped about the outlook of 2017, it was hopeful that the coming year, the economy will be more resilient than it has been this year. For instance, the 91-day treasury bill, which at the beginning of November 2016 stood at 23%, is now pegged at 16.4%. And this is likely to help trim down interest rates and eventually push down the inflationary pressures. Edward Nyakun, reporting for GBC24.
Sports, Krobo Dumasi-based under-17 football club Groove FC are winners of the first Images Football Challenge Cup. They beat mighty Krobo Youth by 4-3 on penalties. They took away a cash prize, a trophy, medals and some souvenirs from the sponsors.
The first Image Football Challenge Cup took place at the Agomenya Roman Catholic Basic School Park in the Eastern Region. 4 under-17 male football teams participated. They were the Royal Krobo United from Agomenya, Mighty Krobo Youth FC also from Agomenya, Bong Youth FC from Bong, and Group FC from Poguno. The competition by the 2013 Development Queen of the Manya Krobo traditional area, otherwise called Yukama 2013 and known in private as Mrs. Linda Dadevo, was to unearth talent and promote a healthy lifestyle in the Manya Krobo traditional area. The 4 teams battled for the winner-takes-all prizes, including 1,000 Ghana cedis cash, gold medals, a trophy, and souvenirs from sponsors. Grooves FC from New Pongono started positively by beating Mighty Krobo Youth by 2-1 in the first game to qualify into the finals. Born Powerful Youth also beat Real Krobo United by 4-2 on penalties to pick the other ticket to the finals. The final match was an action-packed event as the teams exhibited some good football artistry. The back-to-back action did not produce any goal. The winner was then settled through the penalty shootout. Groove FC won by 4-3. For their prize, Groove FC received gold medals, the trophy at stake, and souvenirs from sponsors. They also had a cash prize of 1,000 cedis. The organizers shared their experience.
People from Manya Krobo area has really, you can see how they comported themselves and how they were really willing to receive you. And from this, we can see that sportsmanship has brought us all together. And it's very exciting.
Sports has given us that leverage. Sports has made us who we are. So it's only nice to give back to society. And it's only nice and prudent to also invest in that substance, in football, in sports. Any other sports, you come across me and they have a structured thing. If there's any other disciplinary, it's only fair that we invest in that to encourage the young ones to become the pros that we shoot every day.
Some players and officials said thank you to the organizers.
It's all about training, going to training. How training is a battle. That's our secret.
Oh, we hope in the near years to come we shall get more talent. We are praying too for some of our big men in the town to support Yukama and Images of Image.
Officials said the first 3 teams will be given an opportunity to participate in the upcoming soccer scouting program, which comes off in the middle of January 2017. The event had support from Alive and Kicking and the Jonathan Mensah Foundation, among others.
The senior national football team, the Black Stars, have begun preparations for AFCON 2017. 22 players turned up for the training despite no official call-up.
The senior national football team, the Black Stars, started their non-residential camping training with 22 players at the St. Thomas Aquinas School Park in Accra. The technical team, led by head coach Avram Grant, were present. The physical trainer Jimmy Lawrence took the players through their paces. The 22 players who reported included 4 goalkeepers, namely Fatal Dauda, Razak Brahma, Richard Ofori, and Lawrence Atizigi. There were also Efia Kwajiman Bedu, Jonathan Mensah, Harrison Nafo, Majid Waris, Rashid Sumaila, Edwin Jima, Mubarak Wakaso, Frank Champon, and Samuel Tete. The rest were Nuru Sule, Ebenezer Sifwa, David Akam, Ebenezer Ofori, Latif Blessing, Raphael Dramina, Goswe Donyo, and Benatek Pete. The communications director of the Ghana Football Association, Sani Dara, said the official squad will be announced soon.
The most important thing is that this is not an official training. As you know, our official training starts when the teams are supposed to release their players for the national team. And that, according to the law, is 14 days before the tournament starts. What we have done here today is to bring together some players who have just come for physical exercises. They've asked that they are kept in shape for the technical team to observe. As you have seen today, the coach himself was not involved in the training because it's not the official training. But the physical trainer, Mr. Jamie Lawrence, has been taking them through the drills to keep them fit. Players are on holiday for Christmas, and 2-3 days can let them put up, some few pounds. So it's what we've started now. At the appropriate time, we'll tell you of our list.
The team is expected to leave to the UAE for a 12-day pre-tournament training from the 2nd of January to the 13th, from the 2nd to the 13th of January 2017.
That's all in sports. Entertainment is next. In entertainment, a group of poets celebrated the Boxing Day with a Grand Poetry Slam Championship in Accra. The championship saw 9 poets deliver some poetic dexterities as gifts to their audience.
Why worry, I ask and I say, why worry? Why worry whilst tomorrow not yet here and today not yet gone? Why worry?
The Halakasa Slam group exhibited their poetry recital skills at Poetry Slam competition organized by the Nubuke Foundation in Accra. The competition was organized on Boxing Day to entertain its audience and also present to them a gift of knowledge. To the Nubuke group, poetry is a way of taking life by the throat. The poets seized the opportunity to make adolescent voices heard on topics from love to the importance of the birth of Christ. The 9 poets who competed had 3 chances to recite 3 different poems in a duration of 3 minutes 28 seconds each.
To shine when the sun is down, so I agree I'm darkness and it's light. But I don't understand why his presence is so heavy on it, so I decided to rebel against him.
We've never sat in a class before, yet between us we have chemistry. I promise I'd add a couple of sugar cubes to our destiny just to make it a sweet dream. But that's just by the way.
The left and right are needed to help the match pass. Even if not distinction, it's a pass. So I don't get the reason why the left hand has been left behind. So tonight, I took my pen to right the wrongs of the society for those left out to be accepted. So with the left hand, I write wrongs. Take a book and exercise patience. With a pen, let's write wrongs. I went away but came back to give back to the society what I gained, because sometimes situations make life worse. And I pray I'll be able to heal the world with my words.
As part of the celebration, 2 comedians known as the 2 Idiots also entertained the audience with a spectacular show.
Osmosis is a mixture of hydrocarbon gases from a mixture of a lower concentration to a mixture of a higher concentration in between the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, true or false?
When you started, it was true. But ending it, it became false. So let's be in the middle, so we don't get ourselves confused. Because it cannot be true, it cannot be false. So let's position ourselves somewhere. Because Kwame Nkrumah said something. He said, if you move forward, forward never, backwards never. But I always say that we should stay in the middle. Because if you stand at the Independence Square and you look at your back, it says Osusi. If you look in front, there's also cemetery. So where will you go? Let's be in the middle. Ghanaians, we like rushing too much. We shouldn't rush at all. Every day we should move forward. Where are we moving forward to? Do we know what is ahead of us? No. Let's stay where we are. Okay.
Some of the audience expressed excitement at the knowledgeable words from the poets.
I'm really enjoying myself here, seeing all the 9 contestants going through, and this really opens people's minds, and it also brings your minds to things that happen in society.
People are getting more appreciative of what we have.
At the end of the competition, one of the poets, Betty, emerged the second runner-up. Lee took the first runner-up. Jewel was adjudged the winner of the competition.
That's it for the weather update for tonight. Good evening. See you tomorrow.
And that's it for the news. Thank you so much for watching. But coming up right after the news is our Year in Review program. Do stay with us and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Good evening.